Hey guys, it's Sharika and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I would love to have you. So today we are doing a giant king crab seafood boil. I have king crabs here and my mayo and mustard dip. For today's drink, this is a gin violet. Show y'all the top. It's so cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and say grace. Amen. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this, get my bowl, my scissors. Where's my towel? Ugh. So I got the drink recipe from Pinterest. I'll link it down below. I'm gonna try it for the first time. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, king crab, Costco. So we're gonna take our first bite. I do have a story time today. So let's get into it. Oh, I don't have no lemon, do I? I don't think I do. First piece of meat. Look at that, y'all. Big and juicy. All right. I don't know what Tony in there knocking on, but he need to stop. Okay. Oh, that's good. Look at that, y'all. That is good. I have my mayo and mustard dip back here. Those of you that's new to my channel, I like to use mayo, mustard, accent, and 2 times spicy, the Samyang sauce, the chicken flavor or something like that. And it's really good. And sometimes I might add like a little lemon. And that was really good. Okay. So today's story time is from Obession. You can find the reruns on Hulu, because that's where I watched it. Ooh, that dip is really, really spicy. Okay, so there was this girl. We'll just call her, what will we call her? We'll call her Rita. Okay. So Rita was living with her sister, and she had been living there for a while, and she finally decided that she wanted to look for a place of her own. So they went looking for houses, her sister, her dad, and you know, they looked at a few and finally came across this one house that they thought was perfect. So Rita had some things going on with her credit, so her dad decided to put the house in his name, and she just paid the mortgage, the taxes, and everything else, so it was her house. Right? So the day came for her to move in. It was her dad and her sister. Took her to the house. They were driving up to the house. Her daddy was saying how good the house looked. Sister was gagging over the house. This, that, and the third. So when they walked up to the front door, they noticed that the door was kicked in. So when they walked around the house, the windows were busted out of the house. So the house was vandalized, but they didn't know, who did it. So she said, okay, whatever, she's gonna go ahead and just clean it up, move in. Her uncle fixed on houses, her mom, family, everybody just came over, helped her get the house together, and the house turned out really cute. So after a month of living in the house, she gets a knock on the door. Rita. She gets a knock on the door. And it's the police. So the police says they just got a call that someone was breaking in the house. So Rita was like, I live here. I just moved in. No one's breaking in the house. I'm the owner of the house. She went and got the paperwork to show the police. So the police said, okay, well, let us do a quick walkthrough to make sure everything was okay. Because somebody just called in that the house was being broken into. So, of course, they did. They walked through. They didn't find nothing. They apologized for, the inconvenience. Whatever. So, girl, Rita walks the cops out. All of a sudden, it's some dude standing on the corner. Mean mugging her, looking crazy, right? So he points at the house and he says, my house, right? Like he like a homeless dude. Let me insert the picture so y'all can see how this dude look. So girl, so she just slams the door and going on about her business. Every day for months, this dude is always outside. If she out there taking her trash out, he's standing there mean mugging her, whatever. She was always having issues with this dude. So one of the neighbors had came over to the house and told Rita she needed to look out for that guy because it used to be his house. When him and his wife first moved into the house years ago, he was very abusive to his wife. So the police was always called. Finally, they took him to jail and he did some time. When he did the time, the wife packed up and moved away. So when he came home from out of the penitentiary, there was another family living in the house. So he walks up in the yard. Little Becky is playing with her baby doll, sees this fool and take off running. So he would harass that family. They move out. He would break into the house, eat the people food, watch the TV like he lived there. They come home, he in them. So every family that moved there, he would run them off because that was his house. So I'll say like a year went by. He would always, try to harass her, whatever, but she would ignore him. He never touched her, so she wasn't worried about it. She gets a notice in the mail that she needed to come to court because the house was being foreclosed on or something like that, and she needed to come to court. She got to the courthouse. The dude is there. Now, he's a homeless guy. Like, he lives in the woods somewhere. But this was his house, and he wanted it back. He don't want nobody staying in it. This was his house. So they said because he was still getting mail there, the address that was on his ID matched up with that one. So they was going back and forth to court. Well, the first court date got dismissed because he didn't have all the paperwork that he needed to get her kicked out. So they went back and forth to court, probably like 3 or 4 times. Every time they come to the courthouse, the judge would dismiss the case. So another court date came up. She didn't show up because she was saying, I can't keep taking off work And every time we go to the courthouse, they're dismissing the case. I'm not going. A few weeks later, she gets an eviction notice in the mail. Because she didn't show up at the court date, he came to court and they ruled in his favor. So she had 3 days to move out. Girl, that thing is a little strong. So girl, she went and got a lawyer. They did the whole thing. They pulled up all the records from the domestic violence on when he lost the house, when the girl moved out, when she sold the house, the restraining orders that Rita had to put on him because he was basically stalking her, the whole thing. Long story short, they reversed it somehow. He was pissed. Okay, so now he can't try to get the house back. It's done. That part of it is done. They reversed it and they put out a restraining order. He couldn't come within 500 feet from her. He didn't care nothing about that. So now he want to start getting crazy. She decides one night she's gonna go out and have some drinks with her girlfriends. When she came back home, when she got home, it was a guy on her porch, like measuring the windows. So she was like, what are you doing? So the guy said, oh, the gentleman is wanting me to give him a rate on how much it'll be to put burglar bars up on the doors. So she said, burglar bars on what doors? Like, this is my house. Like, he don't live here. Here he come around the corner looking crazy. Like, he would wear overalls, his hair looking crazy. Something was wrong with one of his eyes. It was a mess. The dude looked scary, okay? So, of course, she ran him off, whatever. So her daddy was like, okay, listen, I'm going to get you a gun because you need some type of protection from this guy. We don't know what he's capable of. He done went to jail before for beating on his wife. You need to protect yourself. So her daddy showed her how to load the gun, how to shoot the gun, everything. Which she didn't really like the idea of having a gun in her house, but she just did it just to make her daddy feel safe. But she decided that she was going to get a dog. So she got like a Rottweiler or something crazy like that. Something that if I saw it, I'm going the other way. So she felt safe with that dog because she'll put him out in the yard. If anybody come close to the gate, he'll start barking. If anybody try to come in the house, you know, whatever. So she felt safe with her dog. She come home from work one day. The door is open. She walk in the house. Her house is a wreck. Her house is a wreck. Her house is a wreck. The dog been in there tussling with somebody. He got blood all around him. So the dog looking at her like, well, where you been? Where was your antennas when he was jumping on me? So he done did, so I think he stabbed the dog or something, but the dog was able to recover. So the daddy was like, okay, you need to go to, we'll say, Crystal's house, her friend. You need to go to Crystal's house. So she ended up going to Crystal's house because she didn't feel safe. They nursed the dog back up to health, whatever. So one night turned into 3 months. She done stayed away from her house for 3 months because she was just so stressed out, worried about this dude, worried about what he gonna do. He done broke in her house, beat up her dog, and she was just tired of it. She just didn't know what was going on. So when she went back home this time, everything was fine. So one night she on the phone with her daddy. The show was like an hour, so y'all know I have to speed it up. So one night she on the phone with her dad. And they just having a good time. Talking on the phone, laughing. Cussing, everything, right? So all of a sudden she starts hearing her front doorknob rattle. So she's like, hold on, daddy, somebody trying to get in my house. Like, I hear the doorknob. Somebody's trying to get in my house. She goes to get the peacemaker. And she opens the door. So it's some dude at the door. He like, excuse me, I'm sorry. So she like, what are you doing? So he said, I'm with Papa Lock. I don't know if it was with Papa Lock, but he was like, I'm with Papa Lock, and this guy just asked me to unlock his door for him. So I'm trying to let him in the house. So she was like, what dude? So it's him. So she pointing a gun at both of us. She was like, y'all need to get off of my property. So of course the dude like, okay ma'am, I'm leaving. She was like, I'm getting ready to call 911. So she calls 911 and she's telling the police, this guy that I've been having problems with, I've made several police reports. He is in my yard. He is right in front of me, and I'm telling him to back up, and he's coming towards me. I do have a firearm, and if he comes at me, I'm gonna shoot him. All right. This dude looked crazy. Okay. So the Papa Lock people, they just run off. So it was like a scene from a movie. I know this is a reenactment, but the way that they did it, I mean, she was there to tell the story, so that's what happened. So he walking up to her slow, like on a movie. He's spitting and everything, just trying to intimidate her, right? And remember, I told you something was wrong with his eye. He had these dirty overalls on, like he was a big dude, probably like 300 pounds. He looked like Debo, okay? But he had hair. It was a mess. So she's still on the phone with I was about to say 991 because that's what Kalila used to say when she was a baby. I'm gonna call 991. But she was still on the phone with the operator. I guess the operator instructed her to shoot a warning shot. She shot a warning shot. He's still coming. She pointed it at him. And then he just charged at her. She turned her head and she shot the gun. When she looked, he was stumbling out of the yard and he fell in the front of the yard. So, of course, the police came and they took her down to the station. Of course, they asked her story. The Papa Lock people was able to tell their side of the story, and the operator that was on the phone the whole time. So it was self-defense, but you know, she said that she felt so bad with doing that because she just wish it could have went different. So she said she was playing different scenarios back in her head because, you know, she's not a killer, but she had to protect herself. And she said at that point, it was like, it was either her or him. So she still live in that house to this day. It was crazy. It was. So like I said, that episode is on Hulu under Obsessions. But that episode is from 2014. Y'all, I'm so full. And this sauce is so hot. I don't know what Tony was trying to kill me. Okay, guys, so I hope you're done eating. If you're eating with me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I am Sharika B and Eating Pretty Mukbangs. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.